discover the mythology, uses, and symbolism of the underworld dog, the Xoloitzcuintli. When the Spanish arrived on this continent, they were amazed by many things, one of which was the Xoloitzcuintli. At first, they thought it was a dwarf horse, but then they realized it was a type of dog, since they also brought in their own. In addition to the dogs known in our old world, the first, called Xoloitzcuintli, surpasses the others in size, generally being over 3 cubits, and has the peculiar quality of not being covered in fur but rather with smooth, soft skin, marked with fawn and blue colors. Later, these dogs were called mute dogs because they rarely barked. Despite this, their breed has survived the past 500 years, becoming a symbol of Mexican and pre-Hispanic culture. A testament to this is a soccer team named Xolos today. The dog has appeared in movies like Coco or Chico's Journey. Why is this animal so significant and symbolic? Let's go back to pre-Hispanic times to uncover the answer. There is evidence of several types of dogs on the continent, some depicted in Bernardino de Sahagún's work. Not all of them were like the Xolo. Some had 4, some others were small and plump. Even Xolos with 4 are born occasionally. On this continent, the same process of domestication between dogs and humans happened about 100,000 years ago. We see proof of this in clay sculptures where people are shown interacting their dogs. Today, the Xolo is mainly associated with the dead, symbolizing our Day of the Dead celebration on November 1st and 2nd. But why this association with death? As we said, there were other dogs on the continent, and archaeological discoveries show they found remains of so-called common dogs. Due to their abundance and because they were not a specialized or bred species like Xolos. These dogs were called Xoloitzcuintlis, or Mesoamerican common dogs. Among the Maya, there was another type of similar common dogs, called Maliks, or commoners. In the West, there were dogs like the common ones, but with short legs, which historian Fray Bernardino de Sahagún describes as short-legged dogs, or rondis, naming them lachichis or ground dogs. There were also other crossbreeds with coyotes and wolves. Of all these, the best known is the one featured in our video, the Xoloitzcuintli. The name of this species is Xoloitzcuintli. This Nahuatl word divides into Xolotl, which can mean monster, strange, deformed, slave, or jester, and Itzcuintli, dog, giving us monstrous or deforming dog. Beauty is relative, and if one of the meaning of Xolo is monster, it indicates that some people in these cultures did not find it very attractive. Of course, today, these dogs are expensive, sometimes costing up 50,000 Mexican pesos. Pre-Hispanic cultures assign the Xolo a place in the 3 main planes: the underworld, the earth, and the sky. In the earthly plane, it accompanied people just as it does today. But it also served as food. They didn't eat it often. Rather, it was consumed on special occasions and sold for the purpose. Hernán Cortés himself recorded that at Tlatelolco they sold feathered and concentrated like dogs raised for food. For Diego Duran, describing a fair in Acolman, note that all kinds of dogs were sold, many of which were used for feasts and sacrifices. From these accounts, it is inferred that besides being eaten, Xolos were also used to substitute humans in sacrifices, which explains the existence of vessels depicting dogs with human faces. This way, instead of sacrificing a person, they would sacrifice a Xolo. They were also buried in their owners, as several Xolo burials have been found. There are also myths and representations explaining that the dog stole fire to give it to humans, as seen in this Mayan Codex. Perhaps this was a way of explaining why many of these dogs are hairless, imagining that their fur burnt off when they stole fire. Now, let's talk about their place in the celestial plane. The Xolo was assigned a place among the divinities and in Mexican mythology. The dog was called Xolotl, lord of the transformation twins, duality, nighttime darkness, the unknown, monstrosity, and death. It was considered a twin brother of Quetzalcoatl, appearing in various codices with a dark skin color. It was also assigned a place in the sky as one of the stars, representing what they believed was a star, but we know it is planet Venus. When seen in east, they called it Xoloitzcuintli, but when it appeared in west, it was Xolotl. Of course, it was the same celestial body, but due to its position in the sky, it received different names, which is why it is associated with twins and duality. Finally, the Xolo's place is in the underworld. Is why it's strongly linked of the days of the dead. As we said, Xolotl, Venus, appeared in the west, where the sun sets, symbolizing the dog accompanying the sun on its journey through the realm of death. They replicated this myth with humans, where the Xoloitzcuintli would guide people through Mictlan. Another myth tells how Xolotl descended to the underworld to retrieve the bones of previous eras from Xoloitzcuintli. These bones were used by his twin brother Quetzalcoatl to create humans. This myth shows the Xolo, once again, going to the underworld to fulfill a mission. An example can be seen in this codex, where a human and a dog stand before the Lord of the Silence, offering gifts. Another association with death is linked to the creation of the fifth sun in Teotihuacan, where Xolotl, along with other gods, had to sacrifice themselves to get the sun and moon in motion. Hearing this, Xolotl fled, hiding among the cornfields and transforming into a double corn stalk called Xolotl. He then hid among the magueys, turning into a double maguey called Xolotl. Finally, he went into the water, becoming an Xolotl. Unfortunately for him, he was eventually found and sacrificed, enabling the sun and moon to move in the sky. Everything discussed shows why the Xolo is associated with death. As it fulfilled roles as a guide, it accompanied the dead sun, dead humans, and even its twin Quetzalcoatl. It gave its life for those who ate it to sacrifice it, as in the myths where it was killed so the sun and moon could move, symbolizing its association with death and the duality of life. This dog held much more significance than it does today, as it represented a planet, helped move celestial bodies, guided to the death through the levels of Mictlan, and helped create life with its twin Quetzalcoatl. Evidence in codices, clay figures, and other artifacts show they also created for and lived with it. Not only that, but the movements of the Xolo planet also serve as a guide of agricultural cycles. Today, Its meaning is limited to the Day of the Dead festivities. But over 500 years ago, it represented much more, making it the famous dog of the underworld.